And so is the golden city blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin into heaven and doom upon all the world. And that is our introduction into the world of Thetis, a small sample from the tip of the proverbial iceberg before you embark on the many different adventures Dragon Age Origins has to offer. Welcome to Retro Relics. I'm Skylar, and today we're going to be taking a look back at one of BioWare's most successful and beloved franchises before the latest release in this series. It's time to relax, replay, and remember Dragon Age Origins. Early development started in 2002, 7 years before the game would see its official release. BioWare was looking to free itself from the licensing issues that came with the Dungeons & Dragons IP and establish its own unique world setting. In an interview with concept artist Matt Rhodes, he said the team was facing a saturated genre and pushed themselves to create a unique world that stood out from the others. Executive producer Mark Dara said that they were trying to strike a balance between Tolkien high fantasy and George R.R. Martin's gritty realism. They would eventually accomplish just that. It arguably redefined the fantasy genre with its moral ambiguity. It brought dark high fantasy to consoles well before The Witcher, and even dabbling in said genre long before the success of HBO's Game of Thrones. Initial designs for Dragon Age started out on the engine used for its predecessor, Neverwinter Nights, even being demoed at E3 on this engine, before BioWare's development team TAG merged with the Dragon Age team to completely rebuild the game on BioWare's new Eclipse engine. After development delays from the engine overhaul, Dragon Age Origins released on November 3rd of 2009, receiving critical acclaim and would go on to be nominated for Game of the Year. I've been a Mass Effect fan for years, but for one reason or another, I didn't get around to playing Dragon Age until long after Dragon Age Inquisition had come out. Initially, I stalled on the game and I put it down after getting frustrated with the notorious Fade puzzle. However, this past summer I sunk my teeth back into this game to give it another try, and boy am I so glad I did. The game starts off at the character creator, where you can pick from a male or female, human, elf, or dwarf, with the three classes of warrior, rogue, or mage to choose from. These being the first of many story-driven choices the game presents to you, as each race and class determines one of 6 origin stories for the beginning of the game, giving the game excellent replay value. The console version of the game features mapped abilities and a radio wheel for combat, with each class having multiple build options to fit your preferred playstyle. It is much less tactical than its PC counterpart and focuses more on real-time combat. It is comparable to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic console ports. While it is quicker paced than the PC version, I do enjoy that the combat is slower than its sequel's more hack-and-slash combat style. Radio wheel commands can offer a slower approach to combat, which can offer quite the cozy experience when playing the game over a lazy weekend. I personally feel that the graphics have held up, much in the way that they serve their purpose, but there certainly isn't a wow factor unless you're looking for it. The best of the game's art design rests in its subtleties and cutscene presentation. It's the game's rich depth of lore and multiple storyline branches that will keep you playing and coming back for more. My personal favorite storyline is that of the human noble from House Kuzlin, but that's the best part. While I feel that the human noble works best as a self-contained story, you may be revisiting the game after having completed the Inquisition's Trespasser DLC. You might find it's best to start as an elf and tell a new overarching story throughout the series. This depth of storytelling has captured the imagination of thousands of gamers, and has fostered quite the community of diehard fans. Dragon Age Origins will go down as one of my all-time favorite video games, and it finds itself on many gamers' shortlist of the greatest RPGs of all time. I highly recommend Origins to anyone who is a fan of RPGs, retro console gaming, or fans of the fantasy genre itself looking for a narrative-driven experience. I hope you enjoyed this retrospective. If you did, go ahead and give it a like and hit that subscribe button, and join the discussion down below. Let me know what you think about the Dragon Age series and how well it's held up over the years. Until next time, friends, why don't you go ahead and relax and replay one of your favorite retro relics.